Hello, welcome to Trisha's Cards and Crafts, and here's my second of my Technique Tuesday. So this week, I'm going to be using this hybrid embossing folder, which is it's embossing folder, so it's got this here, plus it's got a set of dies that go with it and can be used in conjunction with when you die cut. Whoops. And this side. So this is the die. So it's got lots of different smaller bits and pieces, but it does fit inside the embossing folder. I'll show you in a moment now. Just put that out of the way for a second. It's got lots of other bits and pieces that go with it, but when you open it up, this will fit directly over the top, and it sort of sits into the grooves as well so that it doesn't move. So you put, I'll show you what you do first, but you actually put the paper on top and you put it through as it is, so it will actually go through and emboss and die cut the words out at the same time. But to make it even more stand out, more impressive, is that when you actually stamp or emboss this, you can actually sort of stamp at the same time. And what you need to do then is you need to ink up the side that's got the Stampin' Up logo. So you put your ink on here, because these are all raised. You don't necessarily want it to go down into the grooves, but you do want it on there, and then you will put your die over the top of it. Then you place your paper down, and when you get your paper out, you would help if you would put it over the right way. No, that is the right way. There it is, so that it fits directly over the top, and then when you cut it out, it'll also emboss and it'll ink up the outlines of the words at the same time. So you get all of the words and you get the outline of them. That's what I'm going to do. Now, it does say that you can use a brayer with this, and I've got the brayer here, but you do need quite a juicy ink pad to do this with. I haven't actually used it yet, but somebody else I know that has. But I'm not going to use the brayer today. There are lots of things you can use the brayer for, but it's great because it's got these little feet, so that when you put it down, it doesn't this part of it, the bowl part of it, doesn't actually sit onto the paper, so it doesn't mark your whatever you're putting it down on. But you do need quite a juicy ink pad for that, and I'm going to be using a black Memento ink pad for this, and it's not very spongy, and these aren't particularly juicy either, but they're all right for this. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to wipe this over the top instead, because these are quite hard pads. They're not like the normal ink pads that we got, like say for example this one. These are quite spongy, so you can press the stamps into them, whereas with the Memento, they are quite hard pads on them, and they're not spongy, really, not that spongy anyway. So I'm going to use one of these, and I'm going to use this. Now, the other things I'm going to use, I'm going to make a sympathy card, and I'm going to use a paper from this Sunny Days 12 by 12 paper. It's a saleabration item that you can get with a £45 spend. And the colours that are used are basic black, crushed curry, petal pink, pool party, poppy parade and shaded spruce. And these are the papers. So you've got some with clouds on, and you've got more clouds on the background with pool party and black and grey. This one's got the poppies on one side, and on the other side it's got a bit of a check going on. Then you've got these nice green flowers, probably shaded spruce. And then you've got the different coloured green rainbows on the back. The next piece has got strawberries on one side, and you've got these crushed curry butterflies on the back. And then you've got these flowers which are quite nice and bright, and you've got like sunshine, like a setting sun or a rising sun on the back, and then you've got the cherries with the leaves on the one side, and you've got this pool party sort of diagonally striped paper on the back, and that is all of those papers. I'm using, as I said, the poppy design for mine, and I'm going to use some black card, some white card, and I'm going to do a 6x6 card. This is just, the envelope is 6x6, but the card is just under 6 inches. So I'm going to cut all of my pieces to fit, and I'm also going to use a piece of white card, which I'm also going to cut to 6x6. Okay, right, let's do some cutting first, because we need the paper to go inside here. Now I haven't got my, what have I got? I've got something. My cut and emboss up here. I've only got my mini box, but I will have to use my electric machine, so I might just stop and start, which you won't notice, but while I do the cutting, it won't be long anyway, and you won't notice the difference. So I'm going to cut these to 6x6 because they fit in the folder that way. I might just do it just under, so I'll do 5 7/8 square, and then I've got another piece then that I can use for something else. So that's my one piece to go inside my embossing folders. Then I'm going to cut this down to 5 3/4 square. This will be my background piece to go behind my poppies. So 5 3/4. So that is going to go as my backing piece. Oh, I might need to cut a little bit more off there because that's just fits. I think that's the same both ways, should be. So there's not really much of a background, so I do need to cut these down a little bit more than that. So I'll cut another 1/8 of an inch off, so it'll be 5 5/8. I'll cut this square. Oops, wrong thing. 5 5/8, and hopefully that should be enough for this. Just check. So I should have a little border, a small border all the way around. Now, there we go. That should be fine. Okay, so that's my border for that. So if that's 5 5/8, I'm going to cut this to be 5 3/8 square. So this will go on top of my black square on top here. There we go. So that is going to be the base of my card, and then we'll put the sentiments on top. So I think I've got some here somewhere. I will find it. I've got some red ribbon that I'll use on this as well, I think, maybe. We'll see. Right, let's get to do some embossing and die cutting first. So I'm going to take that away, I don't need those there. I'll just get in the way. And I'm going to use my black Memento ink pad, and I'm just going to brush this over the top, and I want it to be nice and well inked. I might use another pad as well because I don't know that this is going to be great. Try another one. That one doesn't look that juicy. As you can hear, this ink pad is quite hard, so it's not going to go down into the actual gaps of the around inside the letters that are going to be embossed, hopefully. There we go. That should be fine. I'm just going to use a little bit of this, like a bit of cloth, just to wipe the corner of that. See, it comes off really nicely without too much of a problem. There we go. Get it on my paper instead. Right, so that is, I think I'll try another one just in case. This one's a bit juicier, but it'll definitely be inked up after this. There we go. Right, now it's definitely inked up. So, whoops, I don't need that. Right, now I'm going to put my die cutting plate over the top, and then I'm going to put my paper on top of that and fold that over. So my paper's the last piece that needs to be going on, and now I'm going to go and put this through my cut and emboss machine. I will be back with you in a moment. Right, now I've done this, I've put this through, and so we can open it up, take this off. Don't worry about it being on the card because that's not going to be seen anyway. Let me just wipe my die cut off. There we go. I'm just wiping off the ink that was on the back of that. It's not on the front anyway, so that's okay. Put that to one side. Take this out of here. Don't want to get my fingers on it, just in case they're inky. Right, so we'll take that out and that. So that's the empty piece that we don't need. So it didn't matter that there was some ink on there. And these are the rest of the words. Okay, now I can just clean this off with a damp cloth. Hopefully I'll find a clean piece part. Just take the worst bit off and it comes off really quickly and easily, no problem at all. Got a bit of a dry piece here somewhere. Hopefully this won't. There we go. We can just hopefully finish it off. Make sure that all the ink is off before we go any further. It's really quick and easy to clean. If I had my, I don't know what I've done, lost. Very good at losing things at the moment. I seem to have lost my stamp cleaner. And if I had one of those, I could use that probably to better effect than I'm using this. But I can't find it, so it'll just have to be this at the moment. Right, so that's my nice clean embossing folder again. Now I've got all these different words. So you've got, whoops, love you, thinking of you, happy, oh happy day, you make me happy, just because, with sympathy, don't need that, hello, thank you, celebrate, and get well. So you've got all these different words that you can use at any time you want. What I've got is an empty stamp box, and I thought I could, if I keep them in here, they'll stay nice. I'll just use the with sympathy for now. Whoops. And there, so they're all kept nice and safe and they won't get damaged at all in there. So I've got my with sympathy, and what I thought I would do is I'll use, don't know where my Poppy Parade is, so I will use my dark real red, and I'm just going to go on the inside of the stamping or embossing with my blender pen. I could use a stamping marker. That would work just as well, but this was to hand sew, and it won't notice so much on the actual card that I've used this. I'm just doing it lightly over the top of the embossing. I'll show you in a moment. So there's my with sympathy. So it's got a black outline on it. Hopefully you can see this okay. Oops, where are you? Yes, you can see that, I think. And I don't know if you can actually see that it is raised. Hopefully you can. There you go. So it's embossed. You'll be able to feel it more than you can see it anyway. And obviously you can't do that on the video. Right, so now we've got our cards put together. So I'm going to use some Tombow. I think there's some left in here. And I'm going to put the black down first onto my white card base. There we go, and put that down there like that. Now I want to make sure I got my card the right way up, that way round, and then this is going to go on top of there. That will go down on there like that. There we have. Right, now I could just put that on there, but it looks a little bit there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this onto some black, but I will cut this off and just make it a little bit more interesting, hopefully. I forgot. What can I do? I'll use this one. This, I think the banner punch, but I'm not sure whether this one's still in stock. But it doesn't really matter too much. That will need to be the last but one size, which I think is about there. So if I cut, oops, I don't want that there, this, and I'll just cut some off, that'll do, and I'm going to cut this too, a little bit bigger than that, so 3/4 of an inch, maybe I'll cut it to 1 inch. I think I will cut it to 1 inch. It doesn't matter if it's bigger. And then I'm going to put some ends on this, so I always turn it around so that I can see, the other way around, this one, so I can see where I'm cutting, so I can make sure it's centered. So if you can have a look there, centered and gone, and then take that back out, and yeah, that will do. I can push this all the way in this time. should be just about centered, and cut that off. And that will go on there. So that's that one done. Now I should have some red ribbon somewhere, if I can find it. Had it. Nope. Somewhere. Everything that I can find. Whoops. And now everything's going to fall down on top of me. Nope, stay there. Right, I'll use this one. It's not the one I wanted, but, and this is real red rather than Poppy Parade, but it'll be fine. It'll tone in with it. So I'm going to use some of this, and I'm just going to put some, a bit like this at the back. I need to cut a bit off. So I need to find my scissors. Let's use these for now. There we go. And I want to do few these. I'll cut that off to there. There we go. Right, so I'm going to stick this on here, and I'm going to stick it flat, so not too worried. Oops. Put this down, if I can lift it up, and put that in the middle there. Whoops. Try and center it. There we go. And then I'm going to put some tape on the back of here. And whoops, I found my stampin' seal. I'm going to put this, hopefully, if I can make it work. Try it that way around. On the back here. And then I'm going to arrange my ribbon in loops. On the back like that. And then I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of this to raise it up. There we go. So I'm going to put some there, and it'll also, hopefully, in case the ribbon decides to escape, keep the ribbon in place. So I'll just take the backing off there, and I'm going to put it just here. And then to finish it off, you could use, if you've got the plain Diamante, these, you can use these, and you could use an alcohol pen, the real red maybe, to colour these. But I have actually got some real red ones in my stash, which you can't get anymore, but I wanted to use, I think I would like to use these. Actually, the classic matte dots might be nice. I think these are still in the annual catalogue. I will check. But if whatever you've got, you can use. And I'm going to put a few of these in the centres of the poppies. And one, oops, over here. So I've got 3. I might put 5 on this time. Don't usually, but for this one I think I will. So I've got 5. So it's not quite a triangle, but the next best thing. So that is my technique for you today, which is the braille, well, it's not braying, I didn't use braille, but the actual embossing and hybrid embossing folders. So they do embossing and cutting at the same time. So I've just used the one on this card. I will get that off. Here we go. That's just a small, there we go. That's gone, just a little bit of glue there. So that is my sympathy card. I will put a sentiment inside, and I've got my, oops, I haven't got my envelope. I've got it here somewhere. There it is. I've got my envelope, and I might just put a strip of this paper. I could do it that way, but I don't want it's the wrong, it would fit, but it's going to be the wrong orientation, so I won't put that on there. I might just put a strip on the card there, and I might put another strip on the inside of the card. Let's see how long this is. Just over 6 inches, so I can't use that one, so I'll use this, and I'm going to just cut a centimetre strip. Well, I've cut 2 centimetre strips, 1 and 2. Oops, doesn't look very straight. It is now, but that one wasn't actually. That's not a centimetre, it's ½ an inch. I'll cut a ½ inch strip. That'll do. And I'm going to stick one on the inside of my card here. I'll use my, actually no, yes I will use a little bit at the top and some towards the bottom, because this is going to be too long, but I wanted to go from the top to the bottom, and then I'm going to use my snips to trim that off so that fits exactly. And then I'll do the same thing with my envelope. I will put some glue at the top, a little bit more on this, hopefully, yeah, and I'm going to stick that from the bottom, the top to the bottom on there. So I might just put a little bit of multi-purpose glue under here, just to make sure it goes all the way to the end, because if it's going to be going through machinery and things, you don't want it coming up. And I will just trim this off at the back of the envelope there. So those are my 2 little bits of scrap. So there I've got my envelope, which is now decorated, and my card. And the inside has got something there as well. So I will put a sentiment inside when I decide what I want to put. But there's another sympathy card. So they're not very pleasant to make because of the actual reason why you're making them. But I think this one's quite a nice, effective but simple card, using the saleabration items and the thoughtful expressions, I think it is. Thoughtful moments, that's it. Thoughtful moments, hybrid embossing and die cutting folder. So you've got thoughtful moments dies and the thoughtful expressions, the thoughtful moments embossing folder as well. There you go. I will find it. And there you go. There we are. Thank you very much for joining me today. If you want any of the products that I've used today, so if you wanted the hybrid embossing folder and dies, you can find them in my online shop, and they cost, I think it is around about £38. If you spend a little bit more, just maybe buy some embellishments or something like that, and you spend up to £45, you will then be able to get the papers for free if you like the papers. There's lots of other things that are in the saleabration catalogue which you can buy, or not buy, but you'll get for free when you make a purchase of £45 or more. For every multiple of £45, you can choose another saleabration item. So it's a great time to actually stock up on things that you might want. If you'd like a catalogue, just let me know and I can send you one. Or you can find everything in my online shop. All of the items will be there, including the saleabration items and the products that I've used. And there'll be a link to that in the comments below. or the description below. Okay, thanks again for joining me, and hopefully you'll join me again soon. Bye bye.